Here we are, we've got my Reproduction trunk lid I've just thrown on, and I don't expect it to be perfect. The gaps, it's all in the ballpark. I've got to try and show you my biggest concern. It fits okay, but the trunk is a slightly different shape to the car. Now the rear deck filler panel, I bought a Reproduction, I sliced it in half through here. This is Reproduction. This is factory steel. And I know it's right, it's got this nice hard right angle here. That wouldn't have moved. So this piece has a curve like that. The trunk, it's too flat. You can see here the trunk's very high. It's very high there. Come to the middle. The trunk is lower. What needs to happen is I need to bend an arch into the trunk. Is that I could get a grinder and put slices in there. It would soften the shape and the gaps could be taken up. It would easily bend and then I could weld it up again, which would be, I don't know, a lot of work. How much will the skin warp? Will it cause a drumming or a, what do they call it, oil canning? Would it start oil canning? Another thing I thought I could do is I could just put a gas torch on it, soften it. I could use timber. I could bolt a long hard piece of timber in there, bolt the other end on here, pack it in the middle and just pull the bolts on, just effectively make a jig to bend it. Now that would be the easiest thing to do, but do I know, is it going to bend where I pack it, or is it just going to bend where the trunk has a soft spot that I don't know about? And then what's going to happen to that skin? You know, that's going to be so much easier than the cutting and welding. I think that's what I'm going to have to try. This catch actually doesn't line up in here, and I've even packed it out and it still doesn't line up, and it's probably on the wrong angle. Trunk lid I bought from Photos. At the time the primer was hosed right on top of the rust, described as good condition. The guy who sold me this boot lid, I don't wish him well. So it's just about a 90-degree turn there. Yeah, I reckon that's a lot less angle. Yeah, it's much steeper. Okay. Bit of that might be all it needs. Okay, there's another look at that angle. And here it is on the other one. Christina, wave to us.
I'm embarrassed. I don't want to be in your videos.
So I've bolted the timber to the trunk lid. There's packing in the middle. And I wind on a bit of tension. Problem is when I take the tension off, it's going to return. It's just going to straighten, it's going to bounce back. So I'll put the tension on. I'm going to heat the frame to anneal it. Hopefully it'll absorb that tension. It'll stop returning. Okay, so hopefully that heat gets the metal to relax in its slightly more canoed position. So I heated it and quenched it with a wet rag as well. Moment of truth. I think it relaxed a bit. Well, it worked too well. The corner's where we want it to be though. Now the bit of tape marks where the trunk lid is high, it's arching too much. So when I put it on the table, that shows me where I need to put a bend. Around the table, the trunk lid sits on the corners. There's an open air in there. So if I need to flatten this out just a little, right there, I cook it up with the gas torch on the frame here, and then I think pressing on it, one, it's going to be, the pressure is after the fact that the steel started cooling down immediately when I take the gas off it. And there's a risk I'm going to damage the skin. I think what I've been doing is I've been dropping it, heat, drop. I've got a new way of looking at the car. I've pinned the trunk hinge down, so this is just sitting here. And then I've put some nice bright electrical tape on the inside of that right angle there. So now if I get down here like this, you can see a nice slim yellow line. And it's pretty consistent. The level, it's pretty decent. Now what's happened is the trunk's a little bit low, it's a little bit flat here. The corner's okay, that tape's falling off there. There we go. Alright, trunk's a bit flat there, but it's a lot better than it was. I'm going to call it, for now, I'm going to call it done.